Seriously, it does feel like the Milwaukee Brewers win streak could go on forever. It's not going to, but it certainly feels that way. MLB Game Night, every game, every night, and we are underway.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
Welcome in, everyone. He is Lindsey Crosby, host of the Locked On Braves postcast. You can follow Lindsey on the X at Crosby Baseball. I'm Steve Lenox, host of the Locked On Red Sox postcast. You can follow me on the X at Lenox on Baseball. Our latest MLB Game Night presented by 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. Go to 5hourenergy.com today. Use promo code LOCKEDONGolf to receive 20% off on your first order. Only valid through September 30th. Order transfusion flavored 5 Hour Energy shots today. Lindsey, Dodgers back in first place all by themselves in the NL West. The Phillies with an injury scare on Friday, a health scare with Zach Wheeler on Sunday. We'll explain that, get into that as well. Ben Rice had a night for the Yankees in St. Louis, and you can call Casey Mize a 12-game winner. And Lindsey, we're going to start with the hottest team in baseball. That would be the Milwaukee Brewers. A lot of people on social media lately want to tell us they're one of the smallest markets in Major League Baseball. They have one of the smallest payrolls, but they now have a 14-game win streak. Let's welcome in our guy. He is on a roll. He is on an absolute bender right now. Chuck Freeman, go to Vegas, baby, because Chuck is going to let us know that right now in his world, all that glitters is gold.
Boy, that was a stressful 3.5 hours, but really, really, really worth it because our team, our Milwaukee Brewers, have won 14 in a row. Franchise record. Can you believe it? 14 in a row? Unbelievable. Chuck Freeman, Instant Reaction, Locked On Brewers. Now, the Brewers, the Reds kind of gifted this one, but the Brewers, I mean, you got to credit them. I'm not going to discredit them, but the Reds, and each and every one of those first 3 runs the Brewers scored, the Reds played a part in it. Errors, mistakes, and all that. Brewers tied it up in the 9th because the Reds, Ellie De La Cruz threw the ball away on a double play ball, and then you get the extra innings on the Brewers. You don't want to get the extra innings on the Brewers because the Brewers will make you pay for everything. Even Frelick laying down a bunt. The whole world knew Frelick was laying down a bunt, except for the Cincinnati Reds. And then Monasterio hits a 3-run jack. Are you kidding me? The guy was sitting on the bench the whole game, comes up first pitch and goes yard. 14 straight. These guys are never going to lose, ever. See you Sunday night on the next edition of Locked On Brewers.
See, even Chuck says it. They may never lose. Lindsey, we're going to hear from the red hot and furious Jeff Carr, Locked On Reds, in just a moment. But Ellie De La Cruz, that error in the 9th inning, I don't know if you saw it, but tried to turn 2, was not going to double up the runner, the batter going down the first base line. But has Ellie De La Cruz been in the big leagues long enough where he has to know that he needs to hold on to that baseball?
I feel like the guys with the incredibly strong arms, they never think that. They always think that they can somehow get the play. Nobody else could, but they could do it. We've seen Mason Wynn of the Cardinals make this mistake. We've seen Ellie De La Cruz make it. Should have held the ball. And Jeff's talked about, like in previous shows, Jeff's talked about how this team doesn't do the little things right. It's kind of the antithesis of the Brewers. The Ellie De La Cruz, players like that, tons of skill. Sometimes they miss out on the small fundamental things. The Brewers guys are, as a whole, not as talented as some of the other superstars in the league, but they do everything right, and it got him a win today.
Let's hear from the red hot under the collar Jeff Carr, Locked On Reds.
An absolute clown show the Cincinnati Reds have been for the last 2 nights. The Milwaukee Brewers come to town and they forget how to play baseball. They make all of the errors in the books. If you're Ellie De La Cruz, if you're Noelvi Marte, if you're Jake Fraley, if you're Terry Francona, you're making the errors because Joe La Sorsa in the 11th inning was an error. That was a horrible decision. He was just brought up from AAA to replace the roster spot of Chase Burns. He does not need to be in a ball game where you are trying to win against the best team in baseball. He does not need to be in the 11th inning where you should not be giving up any runs. There is absolutely no reason for the fact that the Cincinnati Reds have lost 2 straight games to the Milwaukee Brewers except incompetence. This is a horrible performance after you beat the Philadelphia Phillies and you announce yourselves to Major League Baseball as a possible contender. And then Milwaukee comes to town and stomps all over you. Absolutely flattens you to the point that you're looking up and wondering what on earth just happened. I cannot believe what I've been watching. This is not professional baseball. That was a coach move to put in Joe La Sorsa. Coach move.
I think I have 3 things here. One,
Okay.
I undersold red hot under the collar there.
You did.
2,
You did.
Jeff has a future hosting a sports radio show in New York City of all markets, the biggest in the country. And 3, he's right. And 4, the camera work was fantastic there.
Here's the thing. Like, he's right. You could have thrown somebody besides Joe La Sorsa. Emilio Pagan threw 9 pitches on Thursday. He was open. Tony Santillan hasn't pitched since Tuesday. You use like Graham Ashcraft pitched on Wednesday and Thursday. It wasn't perfect, but yeah, the issue here is just the Reds shoot themselves in the foot, man. I don't. Isaiah makes a great point in our chat. I'm going to fact check it just a little bit here, but Sal Frelick goes 0 for 6 in this game. Christian Yelich goes 0 for 4. Andrew Vaughn goes 0 for 4, and they win. And it's just, I don't think it would have mattered if you had put in prime Mariano Rivera. I don't think it would have mattered. The Brewers are just going to do the dang thing every single time.
And Pat Murphy basically said after the game, hey, we get contributions from everybody on our roster. If you're catching up with us, that's just the way it is. It's not always the big guys. Monasterio getting a job done on Saturday. The pitching matchup, Sunday finale, Jose Quintana and Andrew Abbott. Let's move on. Rangers, Blue Jays in Toronto. Jays now season high 22 over 500, 14-2 victory. Jays, Lindsay, 14 runs, 18 base hits, 7 extra base hits, including 4 home runs.
Even with the new rules on this, we saw a position player pitching for the Rangers in the 7th inning. Just that tells you how big this was. I do think it's a big deal that Dalton Varsho gets going for the Blue Jays. 3 hits, 3 RBI today. Missed a lot of time with injury. He's one of the best defensive center fielders in baseball, so he makes the defense better. If he can hit, the same caliber that he plays offense, that's going to be fantastic for them as far as lengthening that lineup a little bit as they get into the postseason.
Jays do stay 5 games up on the Red Sox in the AL East. Red Sox a victory, 7-5, held on in the 9th inning, had to bring in Aroldis Chapman to get the final out, but the Red Sox have won the first 2 games of that series. Marlins without Kyle Stowers. We hear from Jeremiah, Locked On Marlins. He wants Cal Quantrill gone, and he's got an update on Stowers, who's going to be out for a while for Miami.
To DFA Cal Quantrill, they got Robbie Snelling, who's ready in AAA. It's Jeremiah Geiger from the Locked On Marlins podcast. Quantrill was awful today against the Boston Red Sox. Gave up 7 earned runs in 3 2/3. Didn't even give his team a chance to win the game. Now, Augustin Ramirez hit a homer over the Green Monster out of Fenway Park. That was pretty cool. Troy Johnston collected his first Major League home run. But overall, it's another loss. It's another series loss. The Marlins lose by a score of 7-5. They did put up 3 runs in the 9th to somewhat make it a fight, but this day was just bad. Kyle Stowers lands on the IL with left tightness in his side, left side tightness. So who knows how long he's going to be out. He's the lone all-star for the Marlins, the driving force of this lineup. Just a bad day, another loss. But hey, Let's go Fish.
Red Sox continue to win at Fenway Park, and they go for the series sweep on Sunday. Oh, by the way, it's Garrett Crochet Day.
You always feel good when it's Garrett Crochet Day. It's Chapman's been fantastic. I know we kind of glossed over that. 2 earned runs his last 34 outings, and the Red Sox are holding serve at home. 16-2 in the last 18 games. That's what you have to do, and now you get Garrett Crochet. So you could that could be a potential sweep there.
Yeah, again, Marlins got to 500, 55-55, now 3-10 in their last 13. Guess who holds on to first place in the AL or NL West all by themselves? Yes, Lindsay, it's the Dodgers. All alone. They won the first 2 games of the series against the Padres, 6-0 the final on Saturday. Again, they won the first 2 games of the series. Is it really just when it comes time to put up or shut up, the Dodgers are always going to answer the bell?
I think it's the end of the road. Their talent is going to win out, right?
Yeah.
All things being equal. This was something they got contributions, but they don't always get them. Michael Conforto had a good game. Teoscar Hernandez home over the second straight. Blake Snell in a revenge game against the Padres. 6 scoreless innings, 3 strikeouts. Dylan Cease struggled. I feel like they're going to have games like this where they just jump on you and somebody unexpected has a great contribution. Alex Friedland playing third base for Max Muncy. Didn't have a great game offensively. Turned a great defensive play late in the game. Like, they're just going to get these contributions, and their talent level is going to win out.
The Phillies blanked in D.C. They're also going to be without their ace, Zach Wheeler, for a while. We're going to provide the details next. It's MLB Game Night.
It's time to fuel it up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Because let's be honest, some days you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. And golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors, of course. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best part of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the beverage cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use the network's promo code LOCKEDONGolf to receive 20% off your order. Now, this offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and can't be used with other promotions. But whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today.
Continue with MLB Game Night. Every game, every night. Nationals and Phillies continuing their 4-game series in D.C. on Saturday. 2-0 victory for the Nationals. Cade Cavalli, 7 scoreless for his first big league win. James Wood, 2-out, 2-run double in the 5th inning, accounting for the only runs of the ball game. Nationals have taken 2 of the first 3 games of this series. We get the perspective from Connor Thomas. Connor wearing my favorite Phillies jersey of all time. He was at the ballpark in D.C. on Saturday.
The Phillies get shut out in Game 3 here in Washington. I'm Connor Thomas, your host of Locked On Phillies. And, man, if you make base-running decisions like the Phillies did early today, you can't expect to win ball games. And Taijuan Walker was really, really good. He deserves a lot of credit for what he's done for the team this year. But this offense just hasn't gotten it done lately. You can't sit around and wait for the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings to try and make something happen. I don't know if it's the approach. I don't know if they're just lost right now, but they need to create more at the plate than what they have been lately. Bottom of the lineup has turned into a black hole, and that can't happen. It can't just be Schwarber. It can't just be Harper. Other guys have to contribute. So we'll see if they can at least split here in Washington, but the idea was winning a series, and they're not going to get that done. So salvage something out of this series tomorrow and try and battle back. The good news is the Mets still stink at least, but man, this was not a great start to this series for the Phillies. We'll talk more on the next episode of Locked On Phillies.
All right, we don't get Connor's perspective on Zach Wheeler, and we're going to spend a minute or two here on Zach Wheeler.
Yeah.
But remember, last night, Connor talking about Johan Duran taking a ball, a comebacker off his ankle, and you're thinking the worst. Early Saturday, Scott Lauber, good friend, covers the Phillies in Philadelphia, said, hey, I've seen Duran. He's at the ballpark. He's ready to go. He can pitch today. That was the good news. Zach Wheeler, though, you push baseball and the game to the side a little bit. He's dealing with a blood clot in his right shoulder. and he's going to miss some time. And this is one you have no idea on how long this is going to be, and the health, the biggest thing for Zach Wheeler today and going forward as well.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you lose a Cy Young candidate, it's obviously a big deal. But especially like you get Aaron Nola back, not an even trade, and it's baseball. Zach Wheeler is one of those guys where baseball is better when he's in it, and so I hope he can get back sometime soon. Obviously, we hope everything goes well here. Whenever it's something like that, it's nerve related, it's like blood flow, blood clot, thing like that related. It's always scary because it could be, you have no idea how long it takes. Like we have a general idea, you sprain an ankle, how long it takes to get back on the mound. You pull a hamstring. We have no idea on blood clots, on nerve issues, and that's just scary. So I feel bad for Zach Wheeler. I feel bad for the Phillies. They don't have him, and hopefully they can get him back by the postseason, because this is, even without him, it's still a really good rotation, but with him, it's one of the best rotations in baseball.
Yeah, ESPN.com had on one of their headlines on their baseball page, Phillies are going to go with a 6-man rotation. I sort of chuckled at that because you knew something was going to happen. Unfortunately, it's a blood clot for Zach Wheeler. You mentioned Aaron Nola. He goes in the finale. First start since mid-May on Sunday. He'll go up against Mitchell Parker. The Mets do pick up a game in the NL East on the Phillies as they pick up a all capital letters, in quotes, whatever else you want to add there. 3-1 victory, a much-needed win for the Mets over the Mariners. Nolan McLean, 5 1/3 scoreless. Spectacular, outstanding, stupendous. Those are the words that I heard and read described on social media for McLean. He went 5 1/3 scoreless. That's great. But this was an even bigger start considering not many starters have gone past 5 innings of late for the Mets.
And it turns out he's going deeper than anybody else in the Mets rotation. 2 hits, both of them were singles, did walk 4, but struck out 8. The biggest thing to me, and sometimes rookies don't always do this, bases loaded jam in the 3rd, he gets out of it. And then you can tell the Mets are pushing for wins. They sent Edwin Diaz out for 2 innings to get the save. He gets the 6 outs. Solo shot to Eugenio Suarez in the 9th, but they get the win in there. Hopefully they can get, take the series on Sunday. They're in Williamsport. George Kirby, Clay Holmes, love that matchup for those kids to see in person. That's always a ton of fun for me.
Pete Alonso made it 3-0. Diaz gave up a home run in the 9th inning, but Pete Alonso made it 3-0 in the 7th with an RBI double. He's now got 100 or more RBIs for the 4th time in his career. Astros walk off. We'll talk about the futility and extra innings for the Baltimore Orioles, but the Astros do walk off in 12 against Baltimore at home in Houston, 5-4. That series now even 1-1. And we welcome in and say hello to our guy. He's Brett, but he's also known as H-Town Wheelhouse.
Baltimore Orioles beat the Astros again. No. That's right. I'm H-Town Wheelhouse. You were locked on Astros. And what a great win. 12 innings. This was baseball at its best. On the day that Billy the Kid has his number retired, put in the rafters, set with the immortals with the organization, even said that it means to him almost as much, if not more, than being in the Hall of Fame, because that means you are identified with the city for the rest of your life. And what did Johnny Bench tell Billy Wagner? Now it doesn't matter what your critics say, because you did it. That's right. And the Astros, what do? They did it. They scored first. The Baltimore Orioles came back. The Astros went up. The Orioles came back. It was a back-and-forth game until the 12th inning. Roman Urias, player of the game, 0 for 6, but still got the game-winning hit. Are you kidding me? That's great baseball, and they put themselves a game and a half in front of the Mariners as the Mariners lost today. Even if C.J. Stroud wore the Mariners hat, it doesn't matter because the Astros won, and C.J. did confirm he's still an Astros fan.
Lindsay, I want you to take Pirates Cubs here in just a moment, but I do want to give the Orioles an extra innings because it was just absolutely brutal. 2 Ks, a 2-out walk in the 10th inning, don't score. Vasquez doubled off third on a line out to second by Dylan Beavers, making his big league debut in the 11th. They went 1-2-3 in the 12th inning. Once it got to extra innings, Orioles did not deserve to win the game. I'll leave it at that. Beavers 1 for 5, MLB debut with a double. Let's just move on.
Yeah, very fundamentally unsound team there. All right, Pirates at Cubs. This is Cubs even this up, 3-1 victory. Only their 4th win in the last 11 games. Game was tied 1-1 to the bottom of the 8th. Seiya Suzuki RBI single makes it 2-1. Nico Orner 2-out RBI double makes it 3-1. A bad luck Shota Imanaga start here. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned, 6 strikeouts. Solo shot to Tommy Pham's all he gave up, but no decision there. Brad Keller gets his first save with 1 hit, but 3 strikeouts in the scoreless 9th. So Pirates have lost 6 of 7. Cubs have played 7 one-run games in August. We'll see what happens. The Sunday matchup is going to be a really fun one in this series. It's been a very low-scoring, very close one so far.
All right, let's move Guardians, Braves. I want your thoughts on the Braves winning baseball of late for Atlanta. Plus, Ben Rice had a night in St. Louis for the Yankees, and you can now reference him or refer to him as 12-game winner, Casey Mize. We've got the details next in segment number 3. It's MLB Game Night.
Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401k, property, investments, things like that. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. And that's why Monarch Money exists. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. And Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. So don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB.
All right, Lindsay, your Braves are on a roll. They've won 4 in a row. I can't call them red hot because the Brewers, as we touched on right off at the top of the show, winners of 14 in a row, and that's a new franchise record. But the Braves have won 4 in a row, 7 of 8. We're going to hear from Jake Mastriani in just a moment. But your thoughts on the 10-1 thumping of the Guardians Saturday?
It's almost all entirely powered by Michael Harris. He goes 2 for 5, 3 RBI, massive home run in this one. He has 8 straight multi-hit games. It's tied the franchise record held by some guy named Hank Aaron. I mean, it's just, it is, a couple people are tied with this. Chris Johnson, a former third baseman as well. But still, point is, you tie a Hank Aaron record, it's pretty good. He's been electric. And as much as they've struggled health-wise in the rotation since the All-Star break, Hurston Waldrop gave him a really good start yesterday. Really good start from Joey Wentz today. 6 innings, 1 earned run. And because of that, the offense hitting like the Atlanta Braves should be hitting, combined with some decent pitching, they're making this late surge here. Question's going to be, can they keep this up? And does this give Atlanta confidence that this is the team they are next year?
Let's hear from Jake Mastriani, Locked On Cubs. He's got more on Atlanta's win.
The Atlanta Braves continue to show what could have been this season as they get a 10-1 win over the Cleveland Guardians on Saturday. Jake Mastriani here from Locked On Braves, and this was the team we all expected coming into the season for the Atlanta Braves. Unfortunately, did not go their way in the second half, but they're finishing strong here, and you get great performance on both sides in this one. Joey Wentz, 6 strong innings. He has been a big storyline here for the second half of the Braves, an arm that could be a big piece for them going forward now as he continues to throw the ball really well, but an onslaught from this offense, an offense that struggled so mightily in the first half of the season has come on strong, and a lot of people getting it done in this one. Nacho Harris with a 3-hit game in this game. Nick Allen had a big RBI hit. Michael Harris, of course, as he continues his streak now of 8 straight games with multiple hits, has a big 3-run homer in this one. But up and down the lineup, everybody getting it done, just like we all thought would happen coming into the season. We'll discuss this one more on the postcast.
We've got a little streak going, Lindsay. We've mentioned Nacho 2 straight MLB Game Night shows, so that's now a new record for our show, mentioning Nacho back-to-back shows.
Yeah, I mean, 3 for 5, 2 runs, RBI. The big thing here, he had a 2-out RBI. He'd really struggled to come through in kind of clutch situations in his first call-up last year, his call-up this year. He's looking a little bit better now. It gives Atlanta a lot of intrigue. Austin Riley should be back, I think, on Monday is what they kind of said. But Nacho plays the same position or will be playing in the minors, the same position as the struggling Ozzie Albies. What happens there next year?
So just a few days ago, we were talking about the two Ohio teams overtaking the two New York teams for the third wild card in both the AL and NL. Blink of an eye, and the Guardians are now 2.5 games behind the Yankees for that third wild card spot. I think that's where it's at right now.
Those teams hurt us talking about them. Yes.
Yes. So Yankees, Ben Rice, big night in St. Louis and a big lopsided win for the Yankees. We've got Brian McKeon, one of our co-hosts with MLB Game Night and also contributor to Locked On Yankees with the details.
Big win for the Yankees as a 7 RBI night for Ben Rice gives them the official victory in St. Louis for the series. I'm Brian McKeon from Locked On Yankees. An early game tomorrow and a bad start out of Max Fried in this game. He has been awful since the middle part of the season, the All-Star break. They still get the win behind former Yankee Sonny Gray not pitching well, and the Yankees now improve their lead even more with significant losses of teams that are behind them in the standings. These are the games that are crucial. This is why we were mad last week when they lost that game. They need to win games when the teams behind them lose. They're firmly in their spot right now, and they're holding on to it. Yankees need to keep this up, and the last game in St. Louis is still important, even though you've won the series. I'm Brian McKeon from Locked On Yankees. We'll be discussing all of it throughout the week on the show.
Max Fried since the All-Star break, 5 starts, 2-2, ERA of 7.
That's not good.
That's not good. No, he looked like he could have been a Cy Young contender in the first half. Not good in the second half at all.
Aaron Judge also homered. Judge double, home run, 2 RBIs, 2 walks. Just his second home run since coming off the injured list. But I really do feel like this is you've got to go out and you've got to finish off the series sweep on Sunday. Almost imperative to do it. As Brian said, you've got to win on the days where the team's behind you. You've got to win when they lose and you pick up ground, and now 2.5 game lead over the Guardians. But just finish off the Cardinals on Sunday. Sweep this series, exit St. Louis feeling good, getting on the plane.
Will Warren's looked good in some of his recent starts. Miles Mikolas has not looked good for the Cardinals. We did a show a couple weeks ago where he gave up like 6 homers in a game. This feels like it should be a Yankee sweep, but every time we've said that, it's not always happened. So let's see if they can capitalize on the momentum. Now, please go to Tigers Twins. Tell me about my Auburn man, Casey Mize.
Yeah, 12-4. And if you don't like the win-loss record for starting pitchers, I don't care right now. I'm grinning ear to ear, and I think Lindsay is too.
Yeah.
Casey Mize tied a career high, 10 strikeouts, went 6 1/3 through 89 pitches, did give up 4 earned runs, but picks up the victory. Trey Sweeney breaking a 3-3 tie for the Tigers, RBI single in the 7th inning. And all of a sudden, the Tigers seem to be back on track. They've won 6 of 7. And their lead back to a comfortable 8.5 over the Guardians in the Central.
It does almost feel like that you can kind of get right against the Twins. I mean, the Twins in this game so far are 3 for 26 with runners in scoring position. I don't know if the Tigers are actually back or if they're just facing Minnesota. We'll see in the next series because like after this, they host the Astros. We'll have a much better idea on Wednesday of how this Tigers team actually is doing right now.
And former Twin Chris Paddock is going to go in the series finale as the Tigers look for the series sweep on Sunday. And I believe it's TBA to be announced for Minnesota as well. But the Tigers pick up the victory and again up 3-0 in that series. Athletics. Hey, how about the Athletics? They lost 7 in a row to the Angels to open up the season series. Now they've won 2 in a row. 7-2 victory on Saturday. And they have not trailed so far in the series. Colby Thomas, Brent Rooker, both hitting home runs, and 7-2 the final from West Sacramento on Saturday night.
Love Luis Morales getting his first big league win. 5 innings, 1 run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. That's not the easiest ballpark to keep some scores down in. So fantastic move by Morales there. Happy for him. If the Athletics can get some more consistent pitching, you can see this offense being good enough for them to challenge for a wild card spot next year.
All right, I'm going to put you inside of the Chicago White Sox clubhouse Sunday in Kansas City. What are you telling them that they need to do in order to end a 13-game losing streak against the Royals at Kauffman Stadium? This is now going back a couple of years for Chicago.
Listen, Kansas City, it's not easy to hit home runs here. Keep the ball in the yard, right? We keep the ball in the yard. Play situational baseball. What did they not do? They didn't keep the ball in the yard and they didn't play situational baseball.
Yeah, again, 13 straight wins at Kauffman Stadium for the Royals against the White Sox. Mike Yastrzemski got the game going in the home first inning. Leadoff home run, his 11th on the year. John Rave also homered. I really thought you would maybe go the Chris Sale route and say, hey, let's take scissors to our uniform tops and we'll wear our BP tops for the series finale. You didn't go down that road.
I thought about that, but I was like, no, I don't know how niche that joke is going to be to everybody. I didn't want to push that one. Sorry about that.
It's not that far back.
It's not, but still. I didn't want to
But
push
still,
that.
yes.
Yeah, but still. Sorry about that.
Hey, the Rockies have won 2 in a row. 10-7 victory, and they did in comeback fashion against the Diamondbacks at Coors Field on Saturday.
Feels like once every couple weeks you get one of these crazy Colorado games. They're down 7-2, 2 in the 7th, 6 in the 8th to get this Tyler Freeman homer. Britton Doyle had a couple hits, couple RBI. This is that classic Coors Field game. You see it every couple weeks, and Arizona on the wrong side of this one.
Our last game, Rays-Giants, and the Rays do win this one. They rally down 1-0 in the 8th inning. Yandy Diaz, 2-out RBI base hit, tied the game at 1. Brandon Lau then followed with an RBI single, 2-1 at that point. That turned out to be the final. But let's push the sun back up in the sky for Justin Verlander. You want to call it vintage Verlander? I think you can become pretty close to that. 7 innings, giving up 2 hits, both singles, no walks, no runs allowed, no walks, 8 strikeouts. I didn't watch any of this game. It wasn't on MLB Network, but I was like hoping that they were going to go to Verlander at some point. Never happened, but geez, you love looking at that box score and just saying, we remember that guy.
I mean, he averaged 94 miles an hour on the fastball, but like it didn't matter. He was getting whiffs on the slider, whiffs on the curveball. They still weren't hitting that 4-seamer. And again, vintage Verlander. I'm excited about tomorrow too. Ryan Pepio, Logan Webb. Ryan Pepio is underrated. Logan Webb's the ace of that staff. That's going to be a really good matchup. Can Logan Webb hold off a sweep at the hands of the Tampa Bay Rays?
Do you think Verlander is maybe emptying the tank here for the remainder of this season, and maybe we see the end of his career here at the age of 42 in 2025?
I don't think he wants to go out like this. I don't think he wants to go out the way that this season has gone. I think he probably gives it one more shot. Now, the question is going to be, can he be any better with more of a normal offseason and maybe not starting so slow? But I don't think he wants to. I've seen him come back too many times at an advanced age from an injury. He came off Tommy John won a Cy Young. I'm never going to believe Justin Verlander's done until he tells us he's done.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to for Sunday as we wrap up here?
Some of these series splits that we've seen have been really interesting. Like who's going to win game 3? It's the Astros have done fantastic stuff here so far. They have this series tied. They needed to win, like the series sweep there. Mariners, Mets really need a win. A lot of game 3s that there are stakes with these games because these teams are fighting for playoff positioning, and I want to see what happens.
Real quick, you mentioned the Astros. Josh Hader, we touched on it Friday. Looks like he'll miss the remainder of the regular season. That's what's being reported now, but hopeful they'll have him back for October baseball.
And they specifically said he would only be able to do 1 inning appearances, which was a big thing for him before he signed the massive deal with Houston, was he wouldn't go multiple innings anymore.
That is a wrap on our latest edition of MLB Game Night. Every game, every night. Be sure to tell your friends all about us and hit that alert button so you know when we go live with our next edition of MLB Game Night. Every game, every night.